Crazy C8 Corvette owner crashes at high speeds. Guys, please avoid doing this. Howdy folks, you on the C8 Corvette Speed 252 show. Scroll over to the right, click that subscribe button, and join us. What's going on everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of C8 Corvette Speed 252. And I would like to thank each and every single one of you literally today for pushing that play button, especially on this video. If this is your first time stopping by, well, my name is Clarence and I want to thank you as well for joining this YouTube channel today. Definitely give this video a thumbs up and smash the algorithm because we really need videos like this to surface more often, and we definitely would love to have you part of this community, so definitely hit that subscribe button as well. For a lot of you that's been a part of my community for many years now, you guys know that I make these type of videos at least once a year because I love to bring attention and awareness to things like this. Even though I feel like these things shouldn't happen, they still do happen, and I can't stress enough how difficult it is to hear stories like this, especially coming from the younger generation, getting in behind the wheel of a car. And it just sucks because someone actually lost their life in this situation, and I feel like it's just unexplainable to me. I know we are human beings and we make mistakes, but there's certain mistakes you know that you can avoid. And something like this, having a C8 owner doing something like this blows my mind. Now, once again, I know we all make mistakes. We are all human beings, but I want to bring awareness to this because this is something that should be talked about more often than not because it happened on a regular basis. And so with that being said, you guys, I'm going to create this video hoping to bring awareness to this situation, and hopefully you can be a voice to other people who may have put themselves in this predicament at some point in the future and somehow end up surviving or realizing the mistake that they made. So with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and hop into this video. Once again, this fatal accident with former Las Vegas Raider wide receiver Henry Ruggs on this C8 Corvette that I showed you guys in the very beginning of this video. Early Tuesday morning, this young gentleman was going about 156 miles per hour on a residential street, driving impaired. And it's one of those things where people do make mistakes, but this mistake could have been avoided. He rear-ended a Toyota RAV4 at 156 miles per hour that burst into flames. There was a 23-year-old inside of that vehicle with her dog, not knowing that this is something that was going to happen to her on this night. And it's one of those things where if you ask anybody that's been a part of my community, one thing they can tell you about me is that I don't drink and I don't smoke. And I have that opinion for a number of reasons. Now, there's nothing wrong with neither one of those things as long as you do that within being responsible. Now, as a 22-year-old kid, obviously he has the limelight of being an NFL player. He has so many things going for him. He has a lot of money. And it's one of those things where there is no excuse for the reason why he should have been behind that wheel that morning. There's a such thing called as Uber. There's a such thing as called as Lyft. There's friends, there's families. There's so many opportunities that he could have used to avoid this from happening. I tell my friends all the time, every single one of them, please, if you're within 2 hours of a drive from me and you're drinking and you need a ride home, call me. If it's anything outside of that, still call me so I can help you make a better decision. And if it's still outside of 2 hours, I still may possibly end up coming to get you, because I don't want people dying due to someone drinking and driving. Literally, this happens every single day. They literally say that someone dies every 52 minutes in the United States from drinking and driving. Now, once again, there's nothing wrong with having some drinks with your friends or having a good time. Just be responsible with it. And it sucks because this kid literally has ruined his life, but not only ruined somebody else's life and their family life. My thoughts and prayer goes out to the family members that were involved with this. This young man is actually going to get a minimum of 40 years, possibly life in jail for one bad mistake that he made. One bad mistake: drinking and driving behind the wheel. I truly believe there are so many other ways he could have went about this to protect himself from this incident. And listening to a lot of NFL players today who talked about this matter, because I used to be a former athlete, as far as I played in high school, I played a little bit in college, but I never made it to the pros. And a lot of these NFL players mention, hey, you can get a driver. Like literally, they have drivers that will keep you from doing something like this. Because most likely what they said happened was this young man took his currently wrapped C8 Corvette to the club that night and tried to show it off in front of his friends. And when he got highly intoxicated, him and his girlfriend got into the car and he decided to take this drive. Now there is another video that's surfacing online that is not connected with this video of him and his girlfriend actually doing a couple of lunch pulls on the highway. And they pretty much talk about like slow down and she's scared and he's scared and things like that. But here's the difference. Doing launch control, we have all done it at least once or twice in some car, whether we done it on the track, whether we done it on the dry script. When he was doing those pulls, he was actually sober. So I'm assuming that he was doing those pulls earlier that day, which gave him the encouragement to do that when he was drunk. Now, once again, you guys, at the end of this video, you will see footage of the car accident and things like that, and the news reporters talking about what happened. And I'm going to put this at the end of the video. At the end of the day, you guys, I love each and every one of you. Please be responsible. Don't get behind the wheel if you're drinking and driving, because you can actually end up hurting yourself and definitely killing others. With that being said, you guys, watch the footage towards the end.
The district attorney told us last week that Henry Ruggs could face up to 46 years in prison if he's convicted. He's now telling us that that penalty has increased to over 50 years in prison after he filed additional charges against the former football player. New charges against former Raiders player Henry Ruggs means the possibility for harsher punishment. He was arrested last week after police say he caused a crash, killing 23-year-old Tina Tinter. Just seconds before his Corvette slammed into the back of her Toyota, Ruggs was going 156 miles per hour. 2 hours later, his blood alcohol level came back at .161.
We did file additional charges. Mr. Ruggs is looking at 2 counts of felony DUI, one involving the death, one involving the substantial bodily injury of his passenger, and then 2 additional counts of reckless driving and a misdemeanor. That
misdemeanor coming from Ruggs having a gun in his car while under the influence. Clark County District Attorney Steve Wolfson says each felony DUI carries up to 20 years, while each felony charge of reckless driving carries up to 6, forcing the former football player to look at up to 52 years in prison, a 6-year jump from the 46 he initially faced. The minimum punishment for his felonies would be 6 years.
It doesn't mean Mr. Ruggs is going to be found guilty. It doesn't mean that he is going to prison. Those are ranges of punishment.
Right now, Ruggs is home on a $150,000 bail, many wondering how he could be released after he's accused of causing a fatal crash. He did have to turn over his passport and has to take 4 alcohol tests a day to ensure he's not drinking. But Wolfson says it ultimately comes down to the judge.
What's important to us is whether the person is a flight risk or danger to the community. Mr. Ruggs is facing significant prison time. So we're always concerned when a person is facing prison time, whether they're going to show up, whether they're going to appear in court, things like that.
The DA tells me a lot of people have been reaching out to him asking why they can't file charges against Ruggs in the death of Tina's dog, who was in the car with her at the time of that crash. He says under the way Nevada's laws are written, that's just not possible, and there's no way to prove that Ruggs knew there was a dog in Tina's car during that time. Reporting live, Sophia Pericone, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Surveillance footage you will only see on Channel 8. capturing the intense speed Henry Ruggs was driving just moments before that deadly crash. 8 News Now reporter Victoria Saha joined us live from where that crash happened that killed the 23-year-old woman and her dog. Victoria?
The memorial for Tina Tintor is growing, as you can see here, but those who tried to save her are still healing from those traumatic moments. And today we take a look at how strangers did their very best to rescue her. This is video 8 News Now obtained from the Vizcaya apartments near the scene of the crash. This is what driving at 156 miles per hour looks like. You can see just how fast Henry Ruggs was going based on the speed of the other cars around him. This very same complex is where Alexander Hart works as security for the night. Police reports show he saw Ruggs' car drive by the complex just as you see in this surveillance video. Moments later, he heard the crash and got in his security car. He tells police as soon as he got on scene, he noticed Ruggs laying on the road, then heard screams coming from Tina Tintor's Toyota RAV4. He jumped right into action to pull Tintor out of her RAV4 as it burst into flames. But the smoke and heat from the flames was too intense. His security company says Hart was declining on-camera interviews, but says he suffered something very traumatic and is angered by the details of this crash. Another witness, Tony Rodriguez, happened to be driving by. He stopped and grabbed Tintor to try to pull her out, but she was stuck. He also was overcome by the smoke and heat from the fire and had to back away. As fire officials responded, they found Tintor and her dog dead. Ruggs is facing charges of DUI resulting in death and reckless driving resulting in death. The district attorney says he could face even more charges for his girlfriend's injury and a gun that was in the car. As for now, I had a chance to talk to many people who stopped by the memorial, and they are all angry because this tragedy could have been prevented. Reporting near Rainbow and Spring Valley, Victoria Saha, live, local, now.
Truly, please remember to be responsible when you're drinking alcohol. Guys, if it's your first time stopping by, once again, my name is Clarence. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please share it because it's definitely important for people to know about this. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel yet, then I would love to have you part of this community. It would mean a lot to me, but it would mean more if you actually pass this video around so people will understand that drinking and driving is not okay. I would definitely love to hear what your thoughts is on this. Leave your comments down below. Once again, I am so grateful and appreciative of all of you for taking the time to watch this video today and definitely pushing that subscribe button. And I'm hoping to bring you more information and content going forward that will bring awareness to things like this in the world. Once again, I appreciate each and every single one of you.